asked a very interesting question about somebody who experiences madhiy, and he did not know that al-madhi would nullify his wudu. So basically he prayed, or it's impure, so he prayed in the same cloth without taking care of that. What is the ruling of this prayer? If the person did not know that it would soil his clothes and it is impure, and he prayed in this outfit, then the prayer is valid and he doesn't have to pray it again. Similarly, if he has forgotten, this is with regards to the purity of the thawb or the outfit, whether the underwear or the outerwear. But if the person prayed without wudu, then he has to make up the prayer because he hasn't prayed. The Prophet ﷺ said, لا يقبل الله صلاة بغير طهور ولا صدقة من غلول. Allah doesn't accept any prayer without purification, nor does He accept a charity which is from theft, or have earned, or the money which has been earned unlawfully. So even if you give it in a charity, it will not be accepted. If a person prays 1,000 rak'ah without wudu, the prayer is invalid. Do you guys remember the hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ passed by the two graves of people who have been punished in their graves? Then he remarked saying, إِنَّهُمَا لَيُعَذَّبَانِ وَمَا يُعَذَّبَانِ فِي كَبِيرٍ. So the Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّهُمَا لَيُعَذَّبَانِ وَمَا يُعَذَّبَانِ فِي كَبِيرٍ. The dwellers of these two graves are being tormented, and not for a big thing to avoid. It was easy to avoid. One of them, كَانَ لَا يَسْتَبْرِئُ مِنْ بَوْلِهِ. He used not to clean up after urination. So what is the big deal about it? A lot of people nowadays, you see them, they use the urinal or they use whatever, and they get up the zip of their pants and they go on and they move on. As a matter of fact, you see that in Hajj, because a lot of people did not bother to study their deen, to know the basics. Is this an excuse? No, this is not an excuse. This is not an excuse. Because every one of us is required to learn the basics of the deen. How to perform tahara, how to offer the prayer. So if somebody is praying but not towards the qibla, and he says, I didn't know. You didn't know what? There are basics. You learn how to pray Asr 4 rak'ahs, and what to recite in each rak'ah, and face the qibla. All the prerequisites of the prayer. You must learn all of that. And these informations are no chemistry. This is very simple. You can learn it in one sitting. So he said, كَانَ لَا يَسْتَبْرُؤْ مِنْ بَوْلِهِ. He was not to clean up after doing number 1. And accordingly, when he gets up to make wudu, the wudu is invalid. Because whatever is based on falsehood is false. Whatever is based on what is void is accordingly void. So the wudu is invalid, and accordingly the prayer is invalid. The tawaf is invalid. Everything requires wudu is invalid because you have not prepared yourself for the wudu through at-tahara. Al-madhi. What is al-madhi? Al-madhi is an excretion that happens due to thinking about sexuality or seeing something that arouses you. This is not al-mani though. This is not an ejaculation. It's a leak, a drop or two. It's a viscid excretion. Okay? It is not similar to al-mani. But it is impure. And the person in this case needs to purify and wash his private or her private the same way like answering the call of nature. Like from urine. And then you don't have to wash your clothes, but you can sprinkle some water on it and you clean it up. That would be sufficient. And that's why I said in the case of the clothes, if I did not know that it is an impurity with regards to my clothes, and I learn afterward, the prayer is valid. Or I knew but I totally forgot until I finish my prayer, or several prayers, the prayer is valid. But if the person experienced that and did not wash his or her private, then make another wudu, then this prayer was not offered. You have to estimate how many prayers you did pray with these impurities, so you have to make it up. That is exactly similar to if somebody says, well, I didn't know that every time I answer the call of nature I have to perform wudu. As a matter of fact, I kept praying, I thought only number 2 would void my wudu. So doing number 1 is okay. And I continued praying with this. This is no prayer. You have to redo it because you have not prayed yet. There is no prayer without tahara. Barakallahu fikum.